Audio Jungle.
Those that celebrate it, welcome back to Wrestling with My Thoughts, presented by the Raw Sports Network. As always, we talk all things wrestling, usually every week. We usually cover everything from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Impact, AEW Dynamite, all that stuff. Today is a little bit different because guess what week it is? Everyone knows. Hey, Amanda, there's my favorite TikTok fan live in chat. This week is a little bit different because WrestleMania is coming up this Saturday and Sunday from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay, Florida. We also have NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver coming up on Thursday and Friday as well. So this show is going to be entirely dedicated to WrestleMania. We're going to do a quick prediction for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, and then we are going to do a little bit more of an in-depth preview of WWE WrestleMania. Now, this is going to be a lot. We're going to be talking about a lot, and as such, you guys might get a little bit sick of my voice, which, by the way, my voice should sound much better this week because I do have a brand new microphone that I just picked up.
Do a little bit of ASMR. Hey, how you doing, folks? It's late night with Chili Jade. We're going to be rocking some tunes.
No, we're not going to do that. But I should be sounding a little bit better with my new microphone. So please let me know in chat if I need to make some adjustments because that's something I'm able to do now. Anyway, to help you guys get over the fact that you're only going to be hearing my voice, I have an extra voice for you this week. My co-host, one of my best friends in the world, Adam Ryan. Will you go ahead and bring Ryan in? There he is. Hey, Ryan, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing mighty fine myself. How about yourself, Jade?
I'm doing all right, man. You want to tell our viewers a little bit about yourself as far as, how into wrestling you are and that kind of stuff real quick?
Very much so. Started wrestling whenever I was just a little child. Loved it very, very, very much. Some of my favorites, obviously, you got HBK, you got Kurt Angle. Love Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles. As far as AEW goes, I'm still trying to get into it for the swing of things. Love MJF, but love wrestling. Love being able to talk about it. Very excited to be here.
All right, very cool. So as you know, Adam Ryan, it's WrestleMania week, WrestleMania weekend. We have a lot of wrestling this week. We've got Raw tomorrow, home show SmackDown on Friday. We still got AEW Dynamite. We've got the NXT Go Home on Wednesday. So a lot to cover. We are going to be sticking straight to the big shows, though, this week. NXT TakeOver, Stand and Deliver, and WrestleMania 37. As always, if you have questions, it doesn't matter if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. You can drop your question in chat, and we will see it. If we would like to answer the question on stream, then we'll put your question below, and we'll give you credit for it. Also, I think my production team entered the link for the stream into chat as well. So if you would like to be a part of the show, and if you would like to come on camera, and if you would like to ask your question of me and Adam Ryan live on stream, then all you got to do is click that link and let our producers know in chat what your question is. And if we can bring you on at any point during the show to answer those questions, we will. And we'll talk a little bit more about the other shows that Raw Sports has to offer later on in the show as well. But today it's all about wrestling. So we've got a lot to cover, as I said, so let's get right into it. Ryan, you want to talk a little bit about TakeOver, Stand and Deliver?
Let's do it. Let's hit it.
Okay. So again, we're going to run through these fairly quickly because we're going to spend most of our time on WrestleMania. That's the big boy. But we'll do just very quick predictions. And obviously, Ryan, if you have any thoughts on each match as we go through, feel free to spit those out as well. So NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver is night 1 and night 2. So it's a 2-night event, WrestleMania as well. The most recent match added to the card, Kushida versus Pete Dunne. So what you got in this one, Ryan?
I'm taking Pete Dunne all the way. Pete Dunne, honestly, soft spot in my heart. Love the way his technical wrestling ability is. Excited to see this match because I know Kushida was just a workhorse as well. So, but I'm taking Pete Dunne at the end.
I think Kushida needs the win more, and I'm hoping that WWE makes the right decision and pulls the trigger on Kushida. So that's my pick. Next, we have the Gauntlet Eliminator. The winner gets a shot at the North American Championship, and Johnny Gargano on night 2. Isaiah Swerve Scott, Leon Ruff will start us off. They'll be followed by Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Dexter Lumis, and LA Knight. So a nice little kind of mix of gimmicks and wrestling styles that we have in this one. All of them are guys that NXT brass are obviously very high on. So I think anyone could take this one. But who do you think is going to be going to night 2 to face Johnny Gargano?
I think we're going to the moon. No, we're taking Dexter Lumis. Taking Dexter Lumis.
Okay. I think it makes the most sense storyline wise. I think that they've sort of telegraphed that it's going to be Dexter Lumis. If I'm not going with that, I'd probably have to go with Bronson Reed. I don't think they're going to do heel versus heel in this instance, or I'd pick LA Knight. So I'm not a big fan of Bronson Reed, and I just did a TikTok on that just yesterday. I'm not a big fan of Bronson Reed, and I said it on my podcast. Yeah, last week too. Not a huge fan of Bronson Reed, but if it's not Dexter Lumis, I'll take Reed. NXT Tag Team Championship triple threat match. This is really an unfortunate situation. I talked about this last week as well. Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch had to surrender the tag team championships due to an injury suffered by Danny Burch. And now we have a triple threat tag team match. We have the newcomers in MSK versus the Grizzled Young Veterans versus Legado del Fantasma. So who do you got here?
I want to say MSK so badly because I know like they're the hot new thing. They're the thing that's going right now. But part of me wants to just go with the oddball choice since, you know, the champions have to surrender. So a lot of times WWE they like to just pick someone random that you're not really thinking. So I kind of go Grizzled Young Vets.
Okay, I am going to pick MSK, actually. I think they were next in line for the tag team championships anyway. I think it's just going to come a little bit early. So, yeah, I'm going to go with MSK in there. Next is going to be the match that you are going to be the sorest after watching. We have an NXT UK championship match, Walter versus Tommy Ciampa. So what's your prediction for this one aside from blood and red chests?
Oh, man, that was my prediction all the way. But once again, soft spot in my heart. Love me some Walter. I want them to just slap 7 shades of crap out of themselves until, just like you said, red chest, blood. But it's going to be – you're going to be kind of watching it through your fingers, honestly. But I think at the end of the day, Walter's going to put away Tommy Ciampa one last time.
Okay, so you're picking Walter. I think I'm picking Walter too. I don't see Tommy Ciampa being able to fulfill a schedule that requires him to wrestle in the UK. I don't think that this long reign, I think if anybody's going to end it, it's going to be someone from NXT UK. So I'm going to go Walter there as well. And then what is currently scheduled to be the main event of night 1, we have the NXT Women's Championship. We have the champion Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez. Who do you have in this one?
Well, go ahead and tell me why you don't want to pick Io Shirai.
If you want to know why I don't want to pick Io Shirai, you can go to my TikTok at Infamous Opinionist, and I have a couple of different videos telling you why I don't want it to be Io Shirai. Listen, I just think it's time. I think that if they're ever going to – she's beaten everyone else on the roster, like literally everyone else on the roster,
yep.
Up to and including Charlotte Flair, by the way. Now is the time they're going to pull the trigger. The only thing I could possibly see happening where Raquel doesn't win and it still makes sense is if Dakota Kai turns on her. Dakota Kai gets jealous that Raquel is the one getting the title shot because that's within Dakota Kai's heel character to do so. So it's possible that Dakota Kai turns on Raquel, costs her the match. We get a triple threat match at the next takeover. So I'm going to pick Raquel Gonzalez, but we could see a situation like that brewing as well. That's the end of night 1.
Gonzalez. I'm still going with Gonzalez.
Okay.
It's the logical choice.
It's the logical choice.
Up. No, but Dakota Kai.
Yep. Which one of these matches in night 1 are you most excited for? Quickly, Ryan.
Walter Ciampa.
Yeah, I think Kushida versus Pete Dunne could steal the show. But I think Walter versus Ciampa is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most. As we transition into our predictions for night 2, just want to remind everyone watching, it would help us out a lot if you share the link to the podcast. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, just hit that share button, share it to your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, whatever you want to share it to, and help us out, get the show out there. Leave your comments below or jump into stream and see if you can get on live and leave your comments there as well. Moving into night 2, ladder match for the undisputed NXT Cruiserweight Championship. The current champion, Santos Escobar, versus the champion that held the belt before the pandemic began, who just recently returned to television, Jordan Devlin. Devlin obviously saying he never lost the championship. Santos Escobar saying, I've been defending it for the last year. What the hell are you talking about? Shawn Michaels wanted to have a ladder match, and now here we are. So who do you got in this one?
I'm picking Devlin. I really am. Like, Escobar is doing great things with it, but, like, I don't know. Part of me just really wants to go Devlin.
This is another situation like Io Shirai where Santos Escobar has beaten everyone. Like, there is literally nobody left for Santos Escobar to beat. I think Santos Escobar is primed for a push outside of the cruiserweight division. I think Legado del Fantasma is a great faction. I think Escobar's got the look. I think he's great on the mic. He's a great in-ring performer. So I think we can see Escobar get sent up to Raw, maybe to fill that void that Andrade left when he quit, possibly.
Yeah, probably so.
So I could see Devlin retaining or winning or whatever you want to call it in this situation, the Cruiserweight Championship. And then I could see Legado del Fantasma getting moved up to the main roster soon. Next, we have a women's tag team championship match. The champions, Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, taking on The Way, led by Candice LeRae. Who do you have in this one?
I want The Way to lose. I don't like him. I just don't. I don't care for him.
Okay. So you feel the way about the way that I feel the way I do about Shotzi Blackheart, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. What I'm hoping is that The Way becomes the new dominant faction in place of the Undisputed Era and kind of fills that void. Gargano retaining the
Undisputed Era.
Well, you're right, but filling the void on TV, if you would. So that would mean that The Way would have to win this championship. But I also know that NXT are very high on Shotzi and Ember. So if I'm thinking Amanda Breeze picks Ember Moon there. If I'm thinking the way WWE thinks, I'm going to pick Shotzi and Ember, but I want The Way to win. But my official pick is Shotzi and Ember to retain. Speaking of that, again, North American Championship. So my match, I have Johnny versus Bronson Reed, and you have Johnny versus Dexter Lumis. So who out of Lumis or Gargano would you think would win that match?
I just want Lumis to go all the way. There's something about in these types of matches where you have to win one match to get to another match to get to another match. Like, I love that aspect of it. And the person who's fought the hardest, fought the longest to get there, I want him to win. And honestly, I just love Lumis as a character, so I really want Lumis to win this.
Lumis is an interesting character. And I know we said we were going to fly through TakeOver, but I just want to take just a moment here. Dexter Lumis confuses the fuck out of me. No, it's not good. And here's the thing. They want to book him as like a serial killer, right? They even named him Dexter, for God's sakes. He's kidnapped no fewer than 3 individuals since he came into NXT. He has committed at least 4 federal felonies. And he's the babyface? Let me say that again. He's the babyface. He is the babyface, and I'm supposed to root for the kidnapping serial killer?
Yes, you are, because we love things like that in this generation.
Get it. I don't fucking get it.
Why do we watch Breaking Bad? We rooted with Walter, like Dexter, the show.
Walter is a serial chopper, not a serial killer.
Listen, you want Dexter to win.
In my scenario, I'm picking Johnny to beat Bronson Reed because I want Gargano to win. I want The Way to have all the gold. So we'll see where that goes.
I don't want The Way to have all the gold.
So then we have what WWE. You don't want him to go the way. You want him to go a way.
That's more or less.
Yeah. So then we have one of what WWE is calling the 2 main events. They're calling it the semi-main event, the unsanctioned match between Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. The story behind this match is just fantastic. I love the build-up that included Finn Balor. I loved how we got to this point. I think the match can only over-deliver. I have solid faith in this match. I'm looking forward to this match more than I am the championship match, which we'll talk about in a moment. But Ryan, where are you leaning on this one?
I don't know. My heart is still broken. I'm still picking up the pieces and trying to put it back together. I loved Undisputed Era whenever that happened. I cried a little. I'll admit there was a single tear that got shed, and then Adam Cole super kicked that away as well. I want to say Kyle. My heart says Adam. I'm going to go Kyle O'Reilly. Why not? Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Pulls it out in the end.
Yeah, people who watch my show will know that I very commonly state my opinions and make my picks from the brain and not the heart. In this case, I am going to go with my brain, and I'm going to say Adam Cole wins this match. I think Adam Cole is primed and prepped to debut on the Raw after WrestleMania on either Raw or SmackDown. And I think that Adam Cole is going to put the Undisputed Era behind him with a victory over Kyle O'Reilly. That will leave Kyle O'Reilly to then go ahead and feud with Roddy Strong on NXT to continue that chapter as Adam Cole goes to the main roster. One question I have, where's Bobby Fish?
Is he injured again?
I think he got injured again, but the fact that they haven't even had him as a part of this via video feels wrong to me. I feel like Fish should be there somehow.
I could see him even being like part of this match. Like even if he was injured, like unless it's something to where I'm not even saying him like a bump. I'm just saying him.
Yeah.
Even if he's injured again, let him come out with a crutch and smack Cole with it.
You read my mind. And then, someone just commented and said the same thing. You read my mind. That's what I feel like they're hiding the fact that Bobby Fish has been gone. I feel like they're trying to make us forget, like, hey, but there was never a Bobby Fish. There was never a Bobby Fish. Let's forget all about him. So I think we could see Bobby come out. Maybe Adam Cole is prepping on the outside to give O'Reilly a concerto or something. And then Bobby Fish just comes from behind with a crutch and bash. Yeah, so I am predicting that Bobby Fish will play a part in this somehow. My brain still tells me that Adam Cole's going to win. But I guess it makes just as much sense for Adam Cole to get to put O'Reilly over and then go to the main roster. Like usually when we see someone go from NXT to the main roster, we see them put somebody over before they leave. So you know what? I'm changing my pick. Yeah. I'm picking Kyle O'Reilly. I just talked myself into it. I think Kyle O'Reilly's going to win. So let's go and move to the main event because we still have WrestleMania to talk about. NXT Championship, Finn Balor and Karrion Kross. Really this bill did not have this.
To answer go ahead. Facebook real quick, I do think Adam Cole is going to get called up. I strongly believe, kind of like you were saying, that it gets, I think Kyle O'Reilly gets put over, looks strong in the win, and then after that, you just have, Bobby Fish beat the crap out of him, whatever. I do think Adam Cole goes away for about a month, boom, pops up again, here we are.
Yeah. So I think it's likely that Adam Cole debuts on the Raw or SmackDown after WrestleMania. I truly do. So I do definitely think he gets called up, even though now that NXT is on major television, called up is such a weird word to use, but I think he gets moved to Raw or SmackDown. Now Balor and Kross is going to have Scarlett with him. Obviously, this rivalry has been more about Scarlett than it has either man in this match.
Yeah.
I know that Scarlett and Kross are kind of one character. I mean, pretty much any Fed they've ever been in, Kross and Scarlett sort of just act as one. And they sort of hinted at the fact that, Scarlett was using Kross as a puppet on NXT a couple of weeks ago by leading Kross into that tag team match, the one in which Danny Burch eventually got injured. And then Scarlett put herself in a position to get run over by Balor, which set Kross off on Balor. So they've already hinted that the Scarlett character is pulling the strings behind the Kross character. The build-up, I think they should have given it a little bit longer to stew. I don't think the build-up has been long enough. Meanwhile, this Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole stuff has been building up for the better part of about 3 months now, going all the way back to Kyle O'Reilly's first match with Finn Balor. So either way, I think Karrion Kross is going to come away with the win because Karrion Kross, if you remember, was the champion for one night after he beat Keith Lee and then got injured in that match. So I think WWE does want to put the belt back on him. So I'm going to pick Karrion Kross in this one. So what do you think?
I was thinking the exact same thing. Kross was champion, got injured, had to relinquish the title. I think Balor more or less was the guy to carry NXT kind of through this, pandemic era, almost you could say, and he's done an amazing job at it. I mean, it's Finn freaking Balor, but also at the same time, I think it's time to get the title back on Cross. Let him, run the story that you wanted to run with him, and I think Balor then can transition into whatever other story they might have for him. Because Balor, having that main roster, once again, I hate saying it, but that main roster exposure and coming back down, he is better suited to, I think, make more characters like even your Dexter Loomis, your Bronson Reed, whoever, and then let the main title be your main title.
Before we move on to WrestleMania, someone in chat on Facebook said, do you think Aleister Black shows up after Cross wins to set up the feud? All the reports are that won't happen because Black has requested multiple times to go down to NXT and he's been declined. So all indications based on the reporting is that won't happen. It'd be something I would like to see. I would love Aleister Black to be back on NXT. I think that's where he thrived, but unfortunately I don't see that happening. So, all right. So again, I want to remind everyone as we move into our conversation about WrestleMania, it would mean a lot if you're watching the show currently to go ahead and share us on all of your social medias. Leave your questions in chat. The links for the broadcast room for the podcast are in chat as well. If you click that, you can be invited in to the broadcast room and you can go through our producers to let us know what question you'd like to ask us, and you might be lucky enough to appear on stream with us. That's something we're looking to try out. We haven't had the opportunity yet, so go ahead and give that a shot if you would like to as well. All right. Give me just a moment to change gears here.
So while you're doing that, I have a question to propose to you real quick, because I know we're going to be doing just a big breakdown of it. So I think this is the biggest question that either hasn't been asked or has just kind of been overlooked. What should be the first match of night one of WrestleMania, the first show back with fans in attendance?
Let's talk about that in a second. I got one or two things to talk about, but we will get to that.
Put the brakes on me. I'll put the brakes on you.
Well, what I want to talk about beforehand is I want to talk about who's not going to be on WrestleMania.
That's a good point.
We're going to talk about the SmackDown the pre-WrestleMania SmackDown show. WWE is trying to trick you into thinking that SmackDown counts as WrestleMania. That SmackDown does not count as WrestleMania. I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to turn down my volume again before I do this because my producer says I was distorting. SmackDown does not count as WrestleMania. I just want everyone to know that. SmackDown, I don't care if they're calling it a WrestleMania special. I don't care if they're calling it a pre-WrestleMania SmackDown. Being on the SmackDown before WrestleMania does not mean you were on WrestleMania. So that means the following people currently do not have a match booked. And again, there's still a Raw and a SmackDown left before Mania, so this could change. But I feel like all of your Mania rivalries should be set up by Fastlane. You shouldn't still be setting up matches for Mania the week of WrestleMania. That being said, the following performers do not have a match scheduled for WrestleMania. Carmella, who had all that fanfare with her heel turn and with her big return and her character change, has done nothing but lose since she came back. Fucking Bayley doesn't have a match for WrestleMania. Fucking Bayley, who spent the entirety of 2020 almost as your women's champion, doesn't have a match at WrestleMania. The women's tag team champions for Raw and SmackDown, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Now, I think that is definitely going to change. And it could even be Bayley and Carmella versus Nia and Shayna at WrestleMania. They're sort of hinting at that. Fact of the matter is it hasn't been set up yet, and they didn't care enough about it to get it set up before this point. And then all of the guys, all of the male performers that are being snubbed that are wrestling on SmackDown instead of wrestling on WrestleMania. Baron Corbin, Shinsuke Nakamura, Buddy Murphy, Ali, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Dirty Dogs, Ziggler and Rude, the Street Profits, the Mysterios, and the Alpha Academy, all of which are having these big advertised matches on the SmackDown before WrestleMania, which again, it's not fucking WrestleMania. And don't try and insult my intelligence by telling me that SmackDown counts as WrestleMania. It doesn't. And I think those performers feel the exact same way.
Oh, yeah.
These are big names that are getting snubbed. Go ahead.
No, my biggest question, and just thinking about this is more on not necessarily just the entertainment side of it, more on kind of the personal and the business side of it. If being on that SmackDown special, WrestleMania spectacle, whatever, are they going to get that WrestleMania bonus? Are they going to get gypped, out of that big WrestleMania payday that you get for being on the show? Are they still going to get them a cut, or what's happening here?
I have no idea. That's something I would like to look into to find out. I haven't heard anything about that. But either way, even if you're getting paid like you're going to be on WrestleMania, you're not going to be on WrestleMania. Yeah. And like you said earlier, and we're going to talk about this in a minute, this is the first show in a calendar year to feature real fans, regardless of how minimal the fan attendance is going to be. And they're probably going to go back to the Thunderdome after that. I don't think we're going to see continued fan attendance until at least the end of the summer with WWE.
Probably.
So this is their first opportunity in a calendar year to wrestle in front of people. And they're not, and you're telling me 2 fucking nights, and you have time for Shane McMahon to have another fucking match. You have time for Bad Bunny to wrestle The Miz, but you don't have time for Baron Corbin or Bayley or Ali or Dolph Ziggler or the Street Profits, who are, again, tag team champions for almost the entirety of 2020. Carried the tag team division for an entire year. Bayley carried the women's division for an entire year. Shinsuke Nakamura is more over now than he has ever been. And you can't put any of those guys at WrestleMania. It's just a fucking shame.
Yep.
That being said, Ryan, let's go ahead and start running down some predictions. So there are other matches on Raw and SmackDown this week, but they're kind of inconsequential at this point. It's just build. So I don't want to take the time. We got enough to look at. I don't want to look at the entirety of Raw and SmackDown. What we are going to look at is we are going to look at the WrestleMania matches that are going to be on SmackDown. By the way, Amanda Breeze on TikTok wants to know your TikTok handle. Ryan, can you spit that out real quick?
It would be DRROB20, Dr. Rob 20.
Dr. Rob 20 on TikTok. Go check him out. Wrestling content, all that good jazz. So the SmackDown Go Home show, we do have a 4-way tag team match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The Dirty Dogs, which I love as a tag team name, Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. The Street Profits, the Alpha Academy, which is Otis and Chad Gable, and then the Mysterios. The Mysterios seeking to be the first father-son duo to win tag team gold in WWE history, if you believe WWE. I haven't researched it. As far as I'm aware, that is a true statement. So, Adam Ryan, which way are you going here?
I'm saying the Mysterios just because of the fact WWE is pushing that, but also because I would like to see that, and I truly believe, excuse me, I truly believe that WWE I think the story they want to eventually run is Ray versus Dominic at one point for Ray's final match. I want to say, I've heard Ray say it at some point. I could completely be making it up, but I think this is the start of a long line until that final match for Rey Mysterio.
I would like to see the Street Profits get the titles back. I think the Street Profits are the best thing for the tag team division, but I'm with you. If I'm picking with my brain, I'm going to say the Mysterios are going to get that big WrestleMania win. You asked me which match should start WrestleMania. I think this match should have started WrestleMania. It won't, but I mean, a big 8-man tag team match that's going to get the blood flowing with Montez Ford flying all over the place, Ziggler selling himself out of the building, and then the big triumphant moment of the father-son duo of the Mysterios winning the tag team titles. This was the perfect match to start WrestleMania. And the fact that they chose not to do that is really, really frustrating.
I have a different opinion, but I'll spit it out later when we get to it.
The other big match on SmackDown is the annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. No announcement yet as to whether or not they're going to do a women's Battle Royal, which they have done, I believe, the past couple WrestleManias. Who knows?
They have. Exactly.
Yeah. So real quickly, I'm going to run down the people that are in the Battle Royal. I'm going to put emphasis on the people that I think have a legitimate chance to win it. Akira Tozawa, Angel Garza, Cedric Alexander, Drew Gulak, Elias, Eric from the Viking Raiders, Grand Metalik, Humberto Carrillo, Jackson Riker, Jey Uso, Kalisto, King Corbin, Lince Dorado, Mace from former Retribution, Murphy, Mustafa Ali from former Retribution, Ricochet, Shelton Benjamin, Shinsuke Nakamura, or Slapjack from former Retribution. So it's basically a bunch of...
dare you not put emphasis on my boy Tozawa?
because he's a fucking goober. Again, for those of you that don't watch my show regularly or haven't paid attention to me, if you have, I use the word goober to represent jobber. I get tired of the word jobber, and I don't think these guys qualify as jobbers, but I do call them the goobers. Every time we're watching Raw and the 24/7 train comes out, starts running around the ring, and you see Eric and you see Tozawa and you see you see Carrillo and you see Grand Metalik. I'm like, oh, there goes the goober train. Choo choo. So this is basically the goober battle royal. I think it is going to come down to either Jey Uso, King Corbin, Shinsuke Nakamura. I think Ricochet could be an outside pick, but overall, Ryan, who do you have winning this? Keeping in mind that the winner of the battle royal has meant nothing to anybody ever since it's happened. But
anyway, Jay's winning it.
Jey Uso, okay.
Jey Uso, he's had the momentum. The fact that he's not in a match is highly upsetting. I think he wins it. He brings it to Roman, and that's a storyline going after Mania. Is him saying, "Look what I brought, to the Tribal Chief. Look what I brought to you. I brought this trophy."
Yeah. I think my pick's going to be Shinsuke Nakamura. I think WWE maybe realizes that they had something in their hands with Shinsuke when he was sort of in a little feud with Jey and Roman Reigns. So I think they're going to give him a consolation prize. I think it's going to come down to Jey Uso and Shinsuke Nakamura, and they're going to play off the history there. And I think Shinsuke Nakamura is going to win it. That's my pick.
You're wrong, but your opinion's okay.
Amanda Breeze in YouTube chat says, I think another women's main event should happen. I definitely agree, and I think it will happen. I think eventually women will main event WrestleMania again. Unfortunately, it took Ronda Rousey to make that happen the last time around.
Yeah.
I, for one, think that any of the four horsewomen, Becky, Charlotte, Bayley, or Sasha, could carry a main event at WrestleMania. Definitely. Yeah, so I think eventually it will happen again. All right, ready to talk Mania?
Let's get into Mania, baby.
All right, let's talk about the first macaroni and beans. What the fuck match of the night? Braun Strowman, who I am very excited to see on the WrestleMania card and to get that payday in that moment. Yeah, put it on the screen, Joey. Rub it in. Why don't you make me look at his stupid fucking face one more time? Thanks, Joey. Braun Strowman versus Shane Beans McMahon in a steel cage match. Ryan, what do you got?
Shane McMahon, baby.
No,
hang on back, getting the win. You want to know why? Because he is 2-0 at Mania right now. Braun Strowman, he's 2-0 at Reno. He has yet to lose at Mania, and I bet you anything, Shane McMahon's like, he could stand a loss. He's going to jump off that stupid pirate ship. He's going to squash Braun Strowman. They're going to run over. Oh, my gosh. And he's going to be on top of him. 1, 2, 3. Shane O'Mac.
You want me to violently, furiously just shit myself in rage, don't you, Ryan?
I mean, a little bit.
I think that's what you want to happen.
Oh, 100%.
I cannot stand Shane McMahon. I can't stand his weak worked punches. I can't stand his fat, smug little face. I can't stand the fact that he's constantly wiping sweat from this exact spot on his brow every 5 minutes. I can't stand this storyline. This is the weakest, dumbest storyline, at least for a Mania match, that I have seen since the Boogeyman was stalking Sharmell. This is undoubtedly the least excitement that I have ever had for any WrestleMania match or for any pay-per-view match. Full stop. And I hope Braun Strowman wins. I hope I don't hope that Shane McMahon gets seriously injured. But I hope that he's not on TV again for a while. I'll just say that. Boy, oh boy. So now let's talk about the Joey. But I swear to God. Oh, I'm going to be in a foul negative mood for the rest of the show.
By the way, not the match to start WrestleMania.
Not the match to start WrestleMania. Let me know when we get. That's how we'll do it. Let me know when we get to the match that you think should start WrestleMania.
I got you.
Raw Tag Team Championships. This may be the most random match on the card, as you can see there. The New Day defending their Raw Tag Team Championships, which they just won for, I believe, the 10th time, which is absolutely insane. The New Day are going to go down as one of the best, if not the best, stable/tag team in the history of WWE. If they keep the group together, they still have another 5 years of great matches, of great promos together, I think. Anyway, they're taking on, and the story behind this match is that the New Day have been trying to convince Omos of what they believe, and that is that AJ is hiding behind Omos, that AJ is going to use Omos to win this match for him, that AJ is going to sit on his ass while Omos wins the match. Omos hasn't been buying it up to this point, and WWE is hyping up that this is the first time Omos has wrestled in the ring. So where you got with this one, Ryan?
AJ Styles is going to win. And in his debut match, Omos is going to pin Kofi Kingston, a former WWE champion, win a championship match at WrestleMania. They're going to make a star out of this guy at WrestleMania.
What is wrong with you?
A lot is wrong with me. But he's going to become a champion. AJ Styles is going to become a Grand Slam champion. And I'm telling you, AJ, the next night going to come out just smug. Just, aha! You're going to hate it. I'm going to love it. It's going to be great. The storyline will be amazing going forward.
Listen, I think Omos could pull off some really cool spots with the New Day.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to be better than most people are giving it credit for.
I'm looking forward to it.
And the interesting thing is, you know, like you said, AJ, if he wins the Raw Tag Team Championships, he would have what I would call a partial modern day Grand Slam. He would be a Universal Championship away from a complete modern day Grand Slam at that point. So I think it'd be interesting to see that happen. I'm struggling with this one. I really am. Because it's not like
the obvious
it's not like the New Day can't take this loss, but I just have a hard time seeing AJ and Omos as the tag team champions. But if I'm picking with my brain, I think I do have to pick AJ and Omos. I think I'm going with Styles and Omos. I don't want Omos to get the pin. I want Omos to do all the work, and then I want AJ to tag himself in, hit a phenomenal forearm, and then celebrate like he won the match by himself. That's what I want to see because
that's probably what will happen.
Hilarious. So, I'm picking AJ and Omos. Next, we have the match that I believe should start WrestleMania on night one because I think that it panders to the casual crowd. I think it panders to the hardcore crowd. I think that the match itself is going to supply the energy that's going to be necessary to carry the rest of night one for the rest of the night. Let's talk about Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Cesaro versus Seth Rollins, I think, could be the best match of the entire weekend. I think the story has been solid. I had questions about it at first, but after that promo that happened this past Friday on SmackDown, I'm honestly sold, and I'm ready for it.
I'm excited for this.
So who do you have winning this match, and is this the match that you believe should start WrestleMania?
This is not the match that should start WrestleMania. But I know that you said pick with your brain, not your heart. But my heart wants Cesaro so much that I'm picking Cesaro, and I want him to swing Seth Rollins out of whatever suit he's wearing until Seth is just like staring at him and like dizzying around, and then just European uppercut after European uppercut. Oh, that's all I want. That's all I want.
Yeah. This is one case in which my brain and my heart are both kind of aligned. I'm picking Cesaro. I think that it's the right move booking wise. I think it's time. I honestly think, and I've said this before, and WWE, every time I think that Cesaro is dead in the water, they keep bringing him back. But I honestly think that we are in a now or never situation with Cesaro. Either we are going to pull the trigger now. We are going to give him the win over one of their most valued stars in a 20-minute fucking wrestling clinic, or it's just never going to happen for Cesaro.
Yeah.
And again, I've said that before. So, you know, he keeps putting himself in positions where he gets another chance via his work ethic and his match quality. So I'm picking Cesaro both with the head and with the heart in this one.
There you go.
Let's talk about the other macaroni and beans. What the fuck? Match of night one. Bad Bunny versus The Miz. Now, the rumors are that this was originally supposed to be a tag team match between Morrison and The Miz versus Damian Priest and Bad Bunny, which would have made a lot more sense. Unfortunately, injury concerns with Morrison and I believe Priest as well, but it might just be Morrison. I can't remember if someone watching can confirm that in chat. I think it's both. It might just be Morrison though.
I don't know.
Have either way, the injury concerns surrounding this match have limited this to being a one-on-one match between The Miz and Bad Bunny. And listen, here's the thing about The Miz. That's
really?
Right.
Really?
Yeah. Correct. Here's the thing about The Miz. I would trust The Miz with anybody in that ring.
Oh, definitely.
Floyd Mayweather, Okibono, Snooki, Drew Carey, Donald Trump, and now Bad Bunny. Any celebrity that doesn't wrestle that you put in that ring, that you want to protect them and keep them safe for the time they are in that ring, there is nobody else I would pick other than The Miz. Nobody.
Definitely.
I honestly don't have a problem with The Miz wrestling Bad Bunny at WrestleMania. My issue is I think he should still have the briefcase. I hated that he cashed in for a period of a week and then lost it and then fell down the card to a match with Bad Bunny. I feel like this match would be more interesting if he still had the briefcase because he would still have a little bit of that credibility left. Ultimately, Bad Bunny is going to win the match because you don't bring big celebrities in for a match at WrestleMania and then have them lose.
But what if?
No, there is no what if.
What
Bad
if?
Bunny. No, there is no what if. Shut up. The Bad Bunny is Naughty Rabbit is going to win. Bad Bunny is going to win. I get why WWE picked.
Will get involved.
Hey, dude. So I think that the smart move you wanted, and again, listen, everyone tells me on TikTok that Bad Bunny is a lifelong fan, and apparently almost all of his rap songs have something to do with wrestling. And listen, that's great. He's a kid living his dreams. I don't blame him. If I was offered this opportunity, I would take it in a heartbeat. I don't blame Bad Bunny. I don't blame him for wanting to be on WrestleMania. I don't blame WWE for putting him with The Miz at all. I just wish The Miz still had that briefcase. So that way, when he loses to Bad Bunny, he can immediately bounce back and cash in for the World Championship.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of looking ahead, and I don't like the future for The Miz. Let's move on. 2 matches left on night one. First of all, the WWE Championship match: Bobby Lashley, Big Bobo Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. This is just 2 big, beefy 5-layer crunch burritos, just with big meaty chests.
Slapping meat.
Yeah. So now we have the cog thrown in the machine of the Hurt Business breaking up. A lot of people talking about how that could impact this match one way or the other. I hear some people saying this could end up helping Drew within the storyline. I hear some people saying this whole thing could be a ploy and it could end up helping Drew in this storyline or help Bobby in this storyline. Either way, in story, by way of a loss to Drew McIntyre a couple weeks ago in a handicap match, Shelton and Cedric are banned from ringside no matter what. So it doesn't matter what the story is. They can't come to ringside. And if they do, then WWE will have forgotten that happened. So taking all that into account, who do you have winning this, Bobo or Drew?
In the first match of the night, Drew McIntyre will beat Bobby Lashley because hear me out. Who has
First of all, that could definitely happen because we're about to talk about the SmackDown Women's Championship, and that's already been confirmed to main event night one. So exactly. I think it could make sense for the world title match to be first.
So in the first match of the night, who has carried WWE through this entire pandemic era, this whole Thunderdome era, all of this? Who has carried them? Drew McIntyre. Who got the loudest pop whenever, just think about it. Drew McIntyre has carried this company. So the very first wrestler to step out for crowds to cheer needs to be your key player, needs to be your star. You're not going to, no offense to anyone else, but you're not going to waste that opportunity, that once in a lifetime, hopefully once ever opportunity of right out of a pandemic, right after you can't have fans in attendance. The first person you want your fans to see, A, needs to be a face, and A, needs to be a megastar, or B, I should say, needs to be a megastar. Drew McIntyre needs to, yeah, three. Drew McIntyre needs to come out and just soak it in. And I know, like, I couldn't imagine being in his shoes. I'd cry, but let that sees and just drinking those booze, and it'll be up there with some of the biggest crowd pops and crowd reactions you've ever heard, ever seen. And then let Drew McIntyre win, let him get his moment, and then let Bobby Lashley win on the next pay-per-view, because I want Bobby Lashley as champion, but I want Drew McIntyre to win for the pop. Drew McIntyre has earned this.
He has. I am still picking Bobo Lashley to retain over Drew McIntyre. One way. There's so many angles with this. There's the random Corbett angle. There's the Hurt Business angle. There's any number of things that could happen. So I'm picking Bobo Lashley one way or the other, and then we'll see what happens with Drew going forward. So the main event of night one, SmackDown Women's Championship, a match that I think has earned the main event spot based on the build. It got a little bit sidetracked there with all of the Reginald bullshit. It got a little bit sidetracked, and I was getting concerned. But again, the most recent interactions and the most recent promos between these two have sold me. So we're going to talk about Sasha Banks defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble, Bianca Belair. Who do you have in this one?
It's Bianca's time. It is. It's Bianca's time. Just 100%.
Spoiler alert, I agree.
I mean, Sasha's carried it, don't get me wrong. Her and Bayley did some good stuff. I don't know. That storyline should have been played out a lot better, I think. Sasha's been doing good. Bianca has the entire just momentum and crowd behind her back. Yes, she is the EST of WWE. Yes. But I think Bianca needs it. It'll be amazing. I mean, they flubbed Rhea Ripley going up against Charlotte Flair in the past, and that really derailed Rhea. Kind of just really derailed her hard, and kind of made her character not even sure where she's going to go. I think they need to capitalize on this. Let Bianca run with it. Let her be what she can be.
I think you're picking Bianca. Amanda Breeze in chat is picking Bianca. I think this being in the main event spot for night one really lends itself towards that prediction, and I'm going with Bianca Belair as well. I think that they want people to leave night one happy. They want to end on a good note for night one. Sasha Banks right now is playing the bad guy. She's kind of a tweener, but she is playing the bad guy. And I think Bianca Belair is going to finally reach the pinnacle. I think Bianca Belair wins, a big kiss of death on Sasha. Now, I think it's going to be a 20 to 30 minute back and forth finisher spot, false finish fest. But I think Bianca Belair is going to win the SmackDown Women's Championship, which, by the way, I and my fiance and my 4-year-old would be very happy with. We are all huge fans of Bianca Belair ever since NXT, going all the way back to her feud with Shayna Baszler. I was pissed that Bianca Belair never went over Shayna Baszler. So that's night one. Let me check chat. All right. Let's go ahead and move into night two. By the way, we are moving into the final part of our show. If you want to be involved in the show, put your question in chat. Click the link for the StreamYard broadcast studio in chat. If you want to try and be on the show, that is something we haven't been able to test out yet. We would really like to test it out. So please go ahead and check that out. I do also want to remind everyone that you can check out Raw Sports merchandise at rawsportsstore.com. This does include shirts and sweatshirts for my podcast, Wrestling with My Thoughts, as well as every other show that we have on the Raw Sports Network. Also, if you're a fan of other sports outside of wrestling, make sure that you tune in to all of our other shows offered on the Raw Sports Network as well. We have the Fantasy Scene every Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. discussing all of your fantasy sports needs. We also have the Dump and Chase show every Tuesday at 8 p.m. These guys are going to discuss hockey like you've never heard in your life. They're going to be super in-depth and super interesting. All of this on the brand new Raw Sports Network. As always, again, Wrestling with My Thoughts every Sunday at 4 Eastern, 3 Central. That being said, let's go ahead and move into night 2. Ryan, let's go ahead and talk about the United States Championship match. It's going to be the U.S. champion Riddle versus Sheamus. Is Riddle forgetting his lines backstage or not? Probably. I think WWE, yeah, I think WWE is steering into the skid of Riddle being a pothead, honestly, and it's funny. So I think he did forget his line with Asuka the other night on Raw, and it was one of the funniest things I've seen. So Riddle is a new champion. He hasn't really had that big title defense yet, but then you also have Sheamus, who's been feuding in the World Championship picture for the better part of 3 months. So this is one of those situations, and I've said this a lot already on just 2 episodes of the podcast. I'm going to say it again. This is another example of WWE booking themselves into a corner. And now they have
100%.
nowhere to go because it's the right decision for Riddle to win because it's his first big defense since he won the championship and you want to make him look strong. It's the right decision for Sheamus to win because he's already coming off back-to-back losses to Drew McIntyre and you want to make sure he continues to look strong.
Yep.
So now you have those 2 concepts bashing into each other, and I think WWE is going to lose somewhat coming out of it no matter what. But, again, this is the situation they found themselves in. So who do you think is the better of 2 evils? Who do you think is going to win here?
I personally, the only way they could get themselves out of this really is if they give this match plenty of time and let the story tell itself of just either it be Riddle predicting and knowing Sheamus, like the bro kick, being able to counter it perfectly, or just Sheamus being able to outpower Riddle to where it leads to the next match. I 100% see this being one of those storylines that carries over into the next month, like past WrestleMania, more or less. I see Riddle winning just because I'm almost certain that Vince McMahon loves him because I think Vince is hilarious. Sheamus can stand a loss this stage in his career and kind of help pull Riddle up a little bit, kind of legitimize him. It would hurt Sheamus, yes, but I don't think it would hurt Sheamus as much as it would hurt Riddle as I become the color of Sheamus as that card drives by.
I think the best decision and the best way to go here is Riddle. Again, I think Sheamus can easily recover, and I think he's got the clout to handle the loss at Mania. Mm-hmm. This is Riddle's first Mania match, along with it being his first United States Championship defense and first title defense, full stop. This is his first singles title defense in WWE, full stop. He didn't win a singles title in NXT. He was a tag team champion, but he was not a singles champion. This is his first singles championship defense in WWE, full stop. And I think that combined with being the babyface at WrestleMania and it being his first WrestleMania match, I think lends itself towards Riddle being the right choice here. So I'm going to go with Riddle. Let's go ahead and talk about a couple of other matches that don't have much build. One that I'm sort of iffy on, and then one that I'm, even though it hasn't had much build, that I'm still super excited for, and I'll talk about why. The one that I'm super kind of iffy on is Asuka versus Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, this isn't the match that they wanted. I still hold firm that they wanted Asuka versus Charlotte. I think it could have been a triple threat. I think you might have been able to see a promo between Asuka and Charlotte, Asuka accepting Charlotte's challenge, and then Rhea Ripley coming out and saying, "You're not doing this without me," or whatever. Exactly. I think it could have been a triple threat, but I think they wanted Charlotte in this match one way or the other. So now they've got the consolation prize of Asuka versus Rhea. And listen, the match is going to be good. I'm worried because the build hasn't been able to be there. Like, all we know is that Asuka is the top dog. Rhea Ripley is a monster, and she thinks she can take Asuka. So I'm in a situation where the match sort of has to over-deliver in order to make up for the fact that the build hasn't been there. And I just don't know if Rhea Ripley is capable. I think Asuka is. I don't know if Rhea Ripley is capable of being in a match that over-delivers. But I think in order for it to pay off, it does need to over-deliver. Either way, who do you have winning this match?
I want to say Rhea. I really want to say Rhea Ripley, but I don't see WWE changing that many championships. I mean, I already have WWE champion, SmackDown Women's Championship. I already have that getting changed over. The Raw Tag Team Champion. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of the SmackDown. I have a lot of them changing. I don't see WWE going into this new chapter with all of their champions changing, because then you have to completely change a lot of storylines. And I hate to bite the bull on this one, but they've flubbed on Rhea in the past. I think they might give her this another loss, and if they play it right, they can really build this babyface underdog story for her of, you know, 2 major losses at WrestleMania, and then build her for a full year. Maybe even let her win the next Rumble and say, "Look, I've come up short the past 2 Manias. I swear to you, this time, this Mania is mine." You know, I don't know. Like you said, the short build really hasn't given Rhea much help here. I really think it's Asuka.
This is one of those situations where I'm sort of predicting in reverse, because my pick for WrestleMania has almost everything to do with what I think is going to happen on Raw after WrestleMania. I think Asuka is going to win at WrestleMania. I think she's going to retain. I think it will be very close, and I think that will give Rhea Ripley the reasoning to be able to come out on Raw and say that she demands a rematch. But I think while they are in the ring on the Raw after WrestleMania and Rhea Ripley's demanding a rematch, we're going to hear that, whoa. And I think Becky Lynch is going to come back on the Raw after WrestleMania, and that's going to lead to a triple threat at Money in the Bank between Becky, Rhea Ripley, and Asuka.
I can see it.
Rhea claiming a rematch because it was a close match. Asuka's already beaten everyone else on the Raw roster. Becky Lynch comes back and says, that was my title first. So I think that we could see Becky Lynch return at the Raw after Mania and be thrown immediately into the Raw picture. And I think that makes the most sense for that to happen if Asuka still has the belt, because Becky says, all right, I gave you the belt. You defended it well while I was gone, but now I'm back and I want my belt back. So I think that's what's going to happen. So all that being said, in case my pick got lost in the shuffle, I'm picking Asuka. Now, another match that hasn't had a hell of a lot of build, but I'm still very excited for, because if they do this right, if they let these 2 guys go out there and wrestle the match that they've been wrestling for the past 15 years together, this could be one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. Kevin Owens, yep, producers knew right where I was going. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. This could be so good. Thank you. Segued nicely. By the way, that's my go-to Kevin Owens meme. This match, Ryan, I'm not, people make fun of wrestling fans because we take this so seriously, right?
Oh, yeah.
I just got fucking chills thinking about Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. I got fucking chills thinking about Owens versus Zayn. This match could be so fucking good.
So good.
My fucking concern is, and I'm already getting angry because I know this is the most likely outcome, fucking Logan Paul has been thrown into the fucking equation. He was on SmackDown this past Friday. For those of you that didn't watch it, Sammy brought in Logan Paul because he believed Logan Paul on Twitter was supporting his conspiracy show, his conspiracy movie. He brought Logan Paul in for the red carpet debut. Logan Paul was out there with Sammy. They played the trailer, and then Logan Paul started having some doubts. And he said, Kevin Owens was backstage, and he was telling me that this is all wrong. Kevin Owens comes out. He gives a stunner to Sami Zayn. And then Owens, and it was like a knife in the heart when I saw Owens do this, because I just knew they were going to have to follow up on it. Owens shoves Logan Paul as he's leaving the ring. And the broadcasters were like, oh, he shoved Logan Paul. I wonder. So now Logan Paul is going to have to be in the middle of this. I hope they resolve it on Friday SmackDown. I hope that they resolve this on Friday and Logan Paul has nothing to do with the match at WrestleMania, and we get Steen versus El Generico basically at WrestleMania is what I want so fucking badly. That's my thoughts on the match, Ryan. What do you think, and who do you think is coming away with the win?
This is going to be great value Stone Cold versus great value Shawn Michaels with great value Mike Tyson.
Do you think Logan Paul is going to be a special ref?
I think he's going to be I don't think that about Owens, and I don't think that about Sami Zayn. They are fantastic competitors. They are their own characters. But Owens has that stunner, and I 100%, and I think they're trying too hard to make him the new Austin. And I think what they're going to do is have Logan Paul, after that shove, be like, oh, Sami Zayn, you know what? I do see the conspiracy. I think that's what's going to happen on Friday. And then he's going to say, you know what? At Mania, I'm going to be the special guest enforcer to make sure that your match gets called fairly, or the special guest ref or whatever. And I think right at the end of the match, Sami Zayn's going to be like really like laying into Paul because he missed a count or something and like poking him in the chest. And then Paul's going to give him a good right hook. Right hook straight to a stunner. Owens pins him. 1, 2, 3. Takes off the ref shirt. KO Mania shirt. Raises his hand.
It's a very solid prediction based on what they've shown. Again, I'm still holding out hope that they resolve this on SmackDown. Either way, I'm picking Kevin Owens. I'm picking Kevin Owens to win. Either way, regardless of if Logan Paul has anything to do with this or not, I'm picking Owens to win. So, guys, at this point, we still have 2 more matches to discuss, but Adam Ryan does have to head back. He's got other prior obligations, so I'm going to have to let Adam Ryan go very quickly. Quick fire, Adam Ryan. No further.
I'm sorry. It's me going back to work right there.
Yeah, no further comment necessary, but who do you think is going to win between Big E and Apollo, Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, and then the main event Universal Championship? Quick fire, go.
Big E keeping that title. Love Big E. Orton Wyatt, I think Wyatt wins. I think there's going to be some little spooky shenanigans, and hopefully praying, don't know, just cross my heart, really hoping for this. I'm praying halfway through it, we get the return of what I do. I think you're going to see something in the fun house. I don't know. And Cena escapes the fun house. I'm hoping that. I don't know. I'm sorry. Wishful thinking. And finally, Universal match. I don't know. There's not 3 sides to a coin, so I can't flip a coin. Right. I can see Roman keeping it because the tribal chief, he's at the top of his game. Everyone loves it. I could see Edge winning it because chef kiss all around. The storytelling would be amazing. I could see Brian winning it because it's a repeat. Yes. I know it's a repeat of 30. I don't know. First one off the top of my head is I think they're calling it on the fly. I really think they're going to call it on the fly. Okay. I honestly, I hate to say it, but I really think whoever gets the loudest pop, they're going to say him. And right now, I'm saying Edge. Edge your winner.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the top and talk about some of these matches in more detail. But Adam Ryan, I'm going to go ahead and let you go, man. Hey, brother, thanks so much for joining me on Wrestling With My Thoughts. Hope to have you back on the show again in the future, okay?
Yeah, it's so good. It's been so good. I love it. Thank you. It's been such an honor. Sorry that I have to cut out early, but like you said, prior obligations. I'm glad I was able to make it in the first place. But, yep, those are my thoughts. I'll see you around.
All right, man. See you later. All right. Joey, do you want to jump on and talk about these last 3 matches with me, or do you want me to run them solo? I know you got stuff going on there at home. Think you're muted, Joe.
I got you. I'm back here. Yeah, his nephew's enjoying Easter. They're watching. Okay. Yeah, they're watching the show along with us.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, so good stuff so far. You know, I'm a big fan of Shane McMahon. That's my niece. Right there. There you go. Guys, go say hello. Go ahead. Oh man. Listen, I pretty much agree. All right, guys. All right. This isn't a family affair, guys. All right. There we go. There we go.
Nice family.
Yes. Francesca. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, as far as everything so far, I pretty much agree with you guys. Couple matches we disagree, but you know, that's whatever. It is what it is.
Right.
But yeah.
So what do you think about? Well, let's go back to the top of what we had to leave off with Adam Ryan there. Let's talk about the Intercontinental Championship between Big E and Apollo Crews. This story and this build has been up and down. I love the Apollo Crews heel turn. I love that Apollo got a win over Big E in a tag team match. I hated the screwy finish that they had at Fastlane. That was bullshit. It was unnecessary. They didn't even bother explaining it. I was not happy with it, but I think they're still capable of pulling out a 15-minute banger at WrestleMania. So what are your thoughts and who do you got in this one?
There it is.
There he is. I love Big E, man. I'll talk more about Big E in a second, but I think he's
he's a great character. I'm glad to see him kind of go back to the old, Big E with the powder and everything. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they labeled Friday last night. They made this a Nigerian drum match, which is basically a no DQ match.
Right.
As far as this, I like what they're doing with this. I think the storyline has been really good. I think that they took a little too long to finally invest time into Apollo. I think that I don't know about this whole Nigerian thing. I don't know if there is actual any thank you. I don't know if there's any truth to it, but I think this should be a good match. This is going to be another heavy hitter match between two bruisers, but I think Big E comes out with it.
Yeah, just to address that real quick. So I was interested in the same thing. I didn't know if there was any truth to Apollo either and the Nigerian background. So I did some research a couple weeks ago, and it turns out that even though he is a United States citizen, he was born in the U.S. His father does have Nigerian descent. His name, he does have a Nigerian name outside of his ring name, Apollo Crews. So there is some truth to it. It's based in a little bit of fact. But that being said, if this had not been labeled like a special no DQ match,
right,
I would probably pick Big E.
I'm just going to step away 1 second. You keep going. I'm going to step away 1 second.
Sure. I would probably pick Big E as Joey steps away to handle his family issues. I would probably pick Big E if this hadn't been a no DQ match. The fact that it is,
Mommy's coming.
I'm just gonna mute Joey's mic there. The fact that it has been made some type of no disqualification match leads me to believe that it is going to be Apollo Crews winning, and that we are going to have Apollo Crews winning the title because it gives him the ability in a no DQ match to win this match, but maybe not win it cleanly. So I think both parties win. So I think Apollo Crews is walking away with the title out of this one. So next, let's talk about what is probably going to end up being the semi-main event, the match with the absolute longest build of any match on the card. This match has been building for close to about 6 months now. It is the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, there he is, versus the Legend Killer, the Apex Predator, the Viper, Randy Orton. Obviously, recently, the Fiend has had all the momentum in this match. That would typically tell me, the way that WWE operates, it would tell me that if the Fiend has had the momentum all the way up to this match, that's going to then give Randy Orton the ability to actually win the match. I can't see a way after Orton beat the Fiend in that Inferno match. I can't see them having the Fiend lose 2 matches at once. So I guess I'll go ahead and spoil it. So that's my pick. I am picking the Fiend because I just can't see the Fiend losing more than 1 match in a row. So
yeah, Joey, I'm the same thing with you. I'm going the same way as you. I just have a funny feeling there's going to be a twist. With Alexa.
A Bray Wyatt story with a twist? No
I know,
way.
go figure, right? I just think that Alexa Bliss, you may see that this one is going to be where it's actually been Alexa pulling the strings the entire time. I really do.
Like a Scarlet situation with Karrion Kross.
That, and you might see me powerbomb my niece live on the air in about 30 seconds. There's a good chance that she's going to get powerbombed.
I think the one thing missing from this match is I think this match begged to be a Hell in a Cell match or a Firefly Funhouse match.
I'm shocked they haven't added a stipulation to it.
Yeah. I think tomorrow on Raw, I'm hoping that we see the addition of a Cell or a Funhouse environment to this match to really add an edge to it. As it is now, either way, I'm picking the Fiend to win because I think that's the right decision. So, all right, Joey, let's go ahead and move on to the main event, man. This one, like Adam Ryan was saying, I absolutely agree with him in that this is tricky for me. We have Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, in a triple threat against the Royal Rumble winner, Edge, and the perennial babyface, Daniel Bryan. This story, as Adam Ryan referenced, is very similar to the WrestleMania 30 buildup, in which he's got these 2 powerhouses that he's going against. The difference between WrestleMania and here is that Daniel Bryan went into WrestleMania as the underdog, right? However, this past Friday on SmackDown, Daniel Bryan destroyed Edge, and then he almost made Roman Reigns tap out again after already making Roman Reigns tap out at Fastlane. So I think that we can't say that Daniel Bryan's definitely going to win because that's what happened at WrestleMania. Because again, at Mania, he was going in as the underdog. I think going into this match, Daniel Bryan's going in even grounded with Roman Reigns and Edge, based on the booking. So I think the right move. I've always said the right move, and I did a TikTok on this a couple of months ago, or maybe even last month. I think the reason Daniel Bryan was put in this match was to take the pin. I think they want Edge to win that Universal Championship at WrestleMania. Turning him heel, I don't really understand that. I don't really get it. The fact that they turned him heel almost makes me want to change my pick to Daniel Bryan, but I really don't think they would put Edge in this situation and then have him lose. But I said the same thing about Batista at WrestleMania 30. I picked Batista back at WrestleMania 30, even with Daniel Bryan having all that momentum, because I was like, there's no way they would bring Batista back from Hollywood, put him over in the Rumble, send him to Mania, and then have him lose. There's no way that's going to happen. And boom, it happened. So I've been proven wrong before, but I think I'm sticking with my pick here. I think I'm still picking Edge to come out on top.
Well, I mean, for me, this match really comes down to one thing. You know, who can survive the loss, right? Who can really take on the loss? You look at it this way. You know, Edge, he's basically a part-time guy now. I mean, I know he signed on as a new contract, but since he's been back, he's had multiple injuries already, you know, and only one true feud with Randy Orton. Roman Reigns, I think this whole heel turn with Paul Heyman saved his career, in my opinion.
Yep.
There are the rumors circulating right now that this is supposed to be, you know, I know we're not dirt, you know, you're not a dirt sheet guy, but, you know, you can't kind of avoid it at this point. But there's, you know, rumors running rampant that this is going to be Daniel Bryan's last WrestleMania. Okay. I don't know what that means, you know, in what capacity. I think they're trying to start the transition to him to a part-time player. Could I see they try to, you know, with there being fans, no one will get over more than Daniel Bryan with the live crowd. I think that this ultimately comes down to Daniel Bryan. I will say that you'll probably see Jimmy Uso return during this match at some point. I think you're going to see there's going to be a lot of things going on in this match. I think ultimately, I think that this is going to be a repeat of 30, and you're going to see Daniel Bryan walk out of WrestleMania champ.
It sort of felt like, and I think everyone, and I think you probably felt this way too, Joey, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to speak for you, but I think it felt to everyone like coming out of the Rumble that it was going to be heel Roman Reigns versus babyface Edge. Edge was going to overcome all the odds, and Edge was going to become the champion. Mm-hmm. And it feels like to me that WWE heard the negative feedback of everyone that wanted Daniel Bryan to win that Royal Rumble. And I think they learned their lesson from 2015 when Bryan wasn't even lasting in the Rumble for longer than a few minutes, and it ruined the entire thing. And it ruined the entire build to Mania. They didn't want any part of Reigns. They didn't want any part of anything. All they wanted was Daniel Bryan to win. And Daniel Bryan got relegated to the IC title picture at that WrestleMania. So I think maybe WWE for once may have learned their lesson, and they saw, it's happening again. This is exactly what happened in 2015. Daniel Bryan lost, and then the fans shit all over the main event because all they wanted was Daniel Bryan.
I think, yeah.
So I think they're trying to rectify that.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to rectify that. They're learning their lesson. They're saying if we don't put Edge in this match, if we don't put Daniel Bryan in this match, the fans are going to shit all over it, just like they did last time. So let's make them happy. Let's put Daniel Bryan in the match. Let's turn Edge heel, but we still want Edge to be the champion. So this time it works out for us because now Edge can win. Roman doesn't have to take the loss. So I think WWE are taking it as a kind of a win-win, right? They get Daniel Bryan in the main event. The crowd doesn't shit on it. And then also Edge gets to be champion without Roman going down for a pin.
I mean, well, there's one thing. If there's one thing I've learned about wrestling fans, they'll find a way to shit on anything. But my thing is that I think what they're doing is, you know, they're kind of pandering to the crowd, yes, okay, but I really do feel that, you know, the momentum behind Bryan didn't really start to pick up till the rumors started that this was going to be his last Mania. So I think that's kind of where, you know, in going what you're saying, like they were worried about. You know, just think about, what was it, last year, right? Last year's Mania before all of this nonsense happened, okay? They took the belt off of The Fiend and put it on Goldberg for the sole purpose that they did not want, because they knew Roman Reigns was leaving Mania as champion, and they did not want the crowd booing the champion at the end of the show. So they were like, okay, who can we put that people will hate more than Roman, and enter Goldberg.
Yeah,
I think this match, this match here, I think, you're putting in, the heel turn from Edge was a little bit of a change. I didn't really see that coming. I don't think many people did. I actually see, for me, I actually see Daniel making Edge tap out, and where Roman, so it leaves that storyline open for Roman Reigns. I think Edge or Daniel Bryan are going to be the one either being pinned or being submitted. I don't think Roman has any factor in the, the final decision of
that.
Of
you
match.
And I agree on.
But yeah, like I said, I could see it going either way. But yeah, I agreeing, with Ryan. I think this is going to be a call that, supposedly again, I have a few friends that work for WWE, and he swears to me that the card is finished, that the final decisions have been made. They're not changing anything. I was like, if Vince McMahon still owns the company, we know that's not true. I said, I was like, you could sell that line of crap to somebody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, this whole week, I mean, this is legitimately a week of wrestling, Monday Raw, Hall of Fame, Stand and Deliver, SmackDownalvania, and then WrestleMania on the weekend, and then tie into that. I'm not allowed to watch it this weekend, unfortunately. It's killing me.
Yeah, I got you. But also, don't forget, we do still have Impact on Tuesday. We do still have Dynamite on Wednesday, and that Impact and Dynamite are probably going to pick up their game for this week because they know they're going head to head with WrestleMania this week.
Yeah, I mean, Impact has been crap. I'm sorry, Impact has been complete crap.
I agree. I'll talk about that more next week, but I agree.
I feel like, I'll be honest with you, I think they opened up the door to go between in between shows, and I think that door being open has done nothing but help AEW and absolutely destroy Impact. And I would not be surprised to see within the next year you're going to see AEW has acquired Impact, because it's become kind of like desolate. It's the show itself it's the same storyline. Everything is either count out or outside interference, and like it's the same show every week. And listen, don't get me wrong, NXT and AEW, they're the same shows as well. They're spot fests. That's all they are. That's why we love them. That's why we watch them. But I think Impact really needs to step up their game now, considering that NXT starting on the 13th moves to Tuesday nights.
Yep.
They really need to step up their game.
The rumor there is that Impact is going to take that cue and move to Thursday nights. I haven't seen anything official, but I don't think they want any piece of NXT.
Right.
So I think they'll end up moving to Thursday. But again, Impact has shown they're capable of some good stuff, and let's hope on the week of WrestleMania they step it up. Obviously, you have the NXT Go Home show on Wednesday is probably going to be decent. And then obviously next week we have the Raw and SmackDown after WrestleManias, which are probably going to be pretty good as well. So a lot of wrestling coming up. It's going to be a really fun week. I'll be right back here next Sunday to cap it all off. Well, actually, no, I won't. Joey and I need to talk about that because WrestleMania is on Sunday.
Yeah. So we may have to push this back a week. Let's this was kind of a big show, and I mean, how much more of this can't you take? I mean, this is like right there. Like, look at him go. Look at him, like stingless, so float like a butterfly.
I'll see if I can throw together maybe a top 10 or something that I can do next Sunday.
Yeah, we could do something. We could do something, on a smaller scale, just to fill in a little bit of time before, because right, this would be going in literally right before Mania, and then. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm always excited for the week after Mania because it's always crazy. You already know that Valkyrie is making her debut on NXT on the Tuesday night under some name Frenchie, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
She did her promo. It was one of her dogs. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be it's definitely gonna be. Amanda, will we be live on TikTok at all? We are working on that. I am trying to figure out a way to get the live through Jade's TikTok because he's the only one that would obviously be able to go live. So we are working on that. Working on a lot of things in the back.
I'll probably go live, Amanda, for something. I'm not going to go live on TikTok for the entirety of WrestleMania. I may go live during the matches that I am especially invested in, like maybe the main events or Owens versus Zayn or something, maybe The Fiend versus Randy Orton. So I'll probably go live once or twice.
Yeah. And if you want, I mean, Jade, just to leave this open for you, you obviously have the access to this. You can even do a watch party, for Mania next Sunday if you'd like. Move it a little bit later and do a watch party, as you're watching.
I'll do a little bit of thinking on that, but at minimum, Amanda, we'll have a small show here next Sunday before Night 2 of Mania, and then I'll probably live stream at least once on TikTok for Night 1 of Mania and at least once on TikTok for Night 2 of Mania. Joey, before we jump off, man, do you want to go ahead and plug all of our other stuff real quick?
Yeah, I mean, guys, first and foremost, thank you for everyone watching. We have been in a little bit of a transition. I apologize to kind of all the confusion with the names and whatnot, but we are we're moving there. We're getting there. Raw Sports Network is picking up a lot of fun things coming along. Obviously, Jade is fantastic every Sunday with Wrestling with My Thoughts. Myself and my partner Ross every Monday and Wednesday. We got the fantasy scene going through that. Tuesday night, the best hockey show around, bar none. These three guys are amazing. Dump and Chase every Tuesday night at 8:00, and we do have some new shows coming up. And as Jade mentioned before, all of this, obviously, we can't do it without support. So guys, please go on to rawsportsgear.com. Pick up a T-shirt, pick up a sweatshirt. Any little bit helps. It helps us to really continue putting on a great product for you. Real quick, we got a question. Would you be mad if Bryan became champion? For me, it's no. I wouldn't be mad at all. I think that he deserves it. I think he's worked hard. He's not, he's really done well to develop his character.
Yep. No, I wouldn't be mad at all. I don't think it's going to happen, but if that happened, I'd pop just like everybody else.
Absolutely. So real quick, you didn't answer. I don't think you, Amanda. I put the link in there. It's rawsportsgear.com. You can go on and get whatever you want. So real quick.
Yeah.
Let's end the show with this. What match are you predicting to open up both nights, and best match of the weekend?
The match to open up both nights, I'll go Cesaro and Rollins for night 1, and then I'll go. What do I think about night 2? Night 2, I think Asuka versus Rhea Ripley would be a good one because again, there's no expectations for it. Aside from the fact that we all know it's going to be a decent match, but there's no expectations as far as blowing us all away. So if that doesn't do well, you can then follow that up with Owens versus Zayn or Big E versus Apollo, which are going to be pretty good. So I think a safe position for that match is to kick off the night, kind of cap the night with world championship matches. The match of the weekend, again, let me throw a caveat here. If Logan Paul is not involved in the Owens-Zayn stuff, I think Owens and Zayn could be the match of the weekend. If Logan Paul does get involved and they don't let this be a Steen versus El Generico type thing, I think Rollins versus Cesaro could be the match of the weekend. There's no stakes in it, but I think the overall quality of the match and the decent build that it's had could end up stealing the entire weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree on either one of those. I actually think on night 1, I think they're gonna make Sasha and Bianca open the show.
Really, I could have swore they had already advertised that it would be the main event. I may be wrong, but I
could be wrong. I mean, I didn't see that, but you know what? Okay. Listen, there's been plenty of times if you really think about it. Look, what was it? WrestleMania 25. Technically, Edge won the Royal Rumble main event of WrestleMania, and he was the opening match against Alberto Del Rio.
It's true.
So it's not the first time. It wouldn't be the first, won't be the last time that a championship match opens up Mania. I just think right now they're probably one of the more. I don't know, those two. They're unbelievable. They really are, and I think that they're a huge pop, and we have to just make sure that everyone gets in before Shane McMahon jumps off the ship. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. But I'm going to head out. A very happy Easter to all those who celebrate. Jade?
Yeah.
Hold on. He's back. Crazy Uso. I thought you forgot about us. No.
Hey, Uso, what's
listen,
up, man?
We've been looking for this guy. I've been trying to search for him. Please make sure we're back. It's under this channel. I know that the name change might have thrown you off, but we are back Monday night. Make sure we're back with the fantasy scene. This guy, let me tell you, he is from California. Great guy, very knowledgeable on his sports. So definitely a good guy to have along for the ride. But yeah, so Jade, take him out.
Okay, guys, again, tune in next Sunday. We'll have something live. Guys, enjoy the wrestling this week. Just try and put aside any negativity that you have with wrestling. This is going to be such a great fucking week for wrestling. Just enjoy it. If your family enjoys it, that's a plus. Just please enjoy wrestling this week, guys. Don't let the negativity creep in. No matter who wins, just remember it's just a game, but it's a fun game that we all love. So enjoy it. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys right back here next Sunday, 4 Eastern, 3 Central for Wrestling with My Thoughts right here on the Raw Sports Network. Take care, guys.